Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decipher corporate reports so you don't have to. In today's episode, we're diving into a shareholder report that's all about emerging markets. Now I know what you're thinking. Emerging markets, that sounds boring, but trust me, hidden in these reports are clues about where your money might be heading and whether it's set for a smooth ride or a roller coaster. Before we get started, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Come join. This time we are deciphering Abbey Cat Fund's annual shareholder report, focusing on the AB Emerging Markets multi-asset portfolio. We will try to unpack the highs, the lows, and what it all means for investors. We will focus on the Class A shares, ticker ABAX. So what's the headline? This report covers the period from April of last year to March. It gives shareholders a peek under the hood, showing how the fund performed, what it cost, and where it's invested. First, let's talk about costs. How much does it take to run this fund? Looking at Class A shares, for every $10,000 you invest, it cost $131 during the past year. Now that translates to about 1.24% of your investment going towards expenses, something to keep in mind. How did the fund actually do? Well, the report states that all share classes of the AB Emerging Markets multi-asset portfolio outperformed the MSCI N index, which is a common benchmark for emerging markets. That's a positive takeaway. It means the fund performed better than average. What were the winning moves? Turns out being overweight in technology and consumer discretionary sectors really paid off, especially the specific tech stock selection. Not everything was rosy though. Security selection in the financials and industrial sectors, along with currency movements in emerging markets, didn't help. Now let's look at the fund's performance over a longer period. This graph shows how a hypothetical $10,000 investment would have grown over the past 10 years compared to the MSCI M index. For Class A shares with sales charges included, an initial $10,000 investment in March 2015 would have grown to 14,265 by March of this year. Let's zoom in on average annual total returns. For Class A shares, again considering sales charges, the average yearly return was 6.54% over the last year, 7.87% over the last 10 years. Here are some key stats about the fund itself. Its total net assets are about $129 and 7 million twos and 7 million tonens. And the fund holds a diverse portfolio of 390 different investments. The portfolio turnover rate is high at 100%, meaning the fund managers are actively buying and selling assets. And they spent $592,714 in advisor fees. Let's take a peek under the hood and see where the fund's money is actually parked. The top holding is Taiwan Senpine Ganda Manufacturing, accounting for 5.7% of the fund's net assets. Tencent Holdings is next, making up 4.8%. These are followed by Xiaomi Corp, Meituan, and JD.com. It's heavily weighted in the tech industry. The report breaks down the portfolio by security type. Right now, about 65.4% of the fund is in common stocks. Sovereign bonds make up 14.3% and corporate bonds are about 6.5%. Drilling down further, financials are the biggest sector at almost 20%, followed by information technology at 16.5%. Sovereign bonds also have a big showing at 14.3%, and consumer discretionary chimes in at about 11%. Finally, where in the world is this fund focused? China takes the lead at almost 24%, followed by Taiwan at around 11%, and India at 9.6%. Now, this report also contains similar information about the advisor class shares, ticker ABX, and Class C shares, ticker ABCE, X with slightly different expense ratios and performance figures, but generally with similar top holdings and country allocations. Class I shares are also highlighted with ticker IBIEX. Beyond the financial data, this report also covers other important aspects. The fund has a code of ethics that applies to all top executives, and according to the report, there were no major changes or waivers to the code during the past year. They did determine that 4 members are financial experts. They also state there were no changes in implicit or explicit waivers to the provisions of the ethics code. The fund's auditor is Ernst & Young. The audit fees for the last 2 years were $60,657 per year, with additional amounts for audit-related fees. All audit and non-audit services were pre-approved by the fund's audit committee. The board of directors reviewed and approved the continuation of the advisory agreement with AllianceBernstein. They considered the nature, quality and cost of the services provided, investment performance and economies of scale. Overall, they found the arrangements to be fair and reasonable. Now for my take. Our emerging markets multi-asset portfolio seems to be navigating the tricky waters of emerging markets relatively well. The reported outperformance against its benchmark is a solid indicator. However, it's important to note the risks involved. Emerging markets can be more volatile, and factors like currency fluctuations and political instability can quickly change the landscape. The high portfolio turnover rate suggests an active management style. There are many risks involving all the factors involved, from political stability, regulatory uncertainty, potential trade wars or adverse diplomatic developments. These are risks that require your attention. Is this fund worth considering? If you're looking for exposure to emerging markets and are comfortable with a high level of risk, it could be an option. However, always do your own research and consider your individual risk tolerance and investment goals. Alright, that's our breakdown of AB Emerging Markets Multi-Asset Portfolio. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.